What is up, internet? It's your boy Tenku, and today we're gonna be talking about an anime that's an anime this season, but I'm finding it quite enjoyable. Um, a tad on the itchy side, even though they don't really show nudity because it's edited and stuff. But before we get into it, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, watch those videos, like those videos, and keep interacting with me in the comments on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And so, with all that said, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be talking about Peter Grill to Kenja no Jikan. It's a really funny anime. It's a comedy anime. I find it super hilarious. It basically revolves around this guy, Peter Grill. We'll just call him Peter. And he just won the world's fighting tournament. So he basically is deemed the strongest being man in the world. And this is a world full of like ogres, mythical creatures, elves, things like that. Well, because he's finally the world's strongest man, he can get engaged to his senpai. That's what he calls her, his senpai. That he's been in love with this entire time. And that is Luvilia. And Luvilia has finally been able to acknowledge Peter's strength, and they're finally able to announce their engagement to her father, which is the leader of their guild. And since Peter's now the world's strongest man, her father can no longer argue the fact that they're engaged and things like that. So, happy, good lucky story. Well, since Peter is now the world's strongest man, some problems have arisen. You have the two ogre sisters, Mimi and Lisa, who happen to be part of the guild as well. And they're ogres, and their whole racist philosophy is to breed with the strongest person to create the strongest warriors. So they basically try to tempt Peter. Peter says no because he's completely devoted in love with Luvilia, and it's not really clear as to where he gives in or they just forcibly have their way. But he ends up stepping out of bounds and ends up with both sisters. And so now they're blackmailing him, saying that he must continue to provide his life force in exchange for their silence so they won't blow his engagement. And so that's where the story comes in. And then, of course, you have Vegan, who is the elf chancellor, who also comes into play. She curses Peter in a very interesting way, and the only way she will get rid of the curse is if, again, Peter becomes her stud horse as well. So she joins the fray. And then there is one last character named Piglet, who is the orc princess or orc representative. And so the whole thing about this is Luvilia's dad doesn't want her to get married. He has a real daughter complex, and so he comes up with this plan to marry Peter off to Piglet to strengthen the bonds between the orcs and the humans and blah blah blah. Well, of course, Peter rejects that because he wants to marry Luvilia Sensei, and so Piglet would be considered a very attractive human because she doesn't look like a normal orc. She looks more like a human than an orc. So she joins the fray and becomes Peter's assistant, but of course she's also part of the harem, if you will, that wants to take on Peter's life force and create the world's strongest being, if you will, fighting wise. And her motivations are different from the other ones because she's more of a revenge type thing. It's pretty funny the way it works out. So anyways, you got these four girls, Vegan, Mommy, Lisa, and Piglet, all fighting for Peter to be their stud horse. At the same time, Peter's trying to stop this whole thing from going on. So one, he can be with his fiancée that he loves very much, and just all the comedy that ensues about it. It's freaking hilarious. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below on the Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And remember, guys, if you can't trust the fat guy you met on the internet, then who can you trust? And everybody have an awesome, awesome day.